Good afternoon. Welcome to the afternoon experiment. Hold on, I gotta say it because I didn't have the thing up. I saw Sierra in there. I see Jack in there. Carolyn Smith is in there. Karen Dye Williams is in there. Hold on. Yeah, Karen. Andrea Bustle, representing Golf Manor. I'm sorry I didn't say where the rest of y'all was representing. It's the way everything is set up. And if I don't have this chat, which let me move over here so I'm not looking that direction. I'm gonna look this direction. So if I don't have the chat up here, I just see what pops up on the screen. So I missed the first 4 or 5. So sorry, y'all. But y'all can send y'all stuff back in. So Andrea Bustle, good afternoon, representing Golf Manor. And Regina Denson Griffin, good afternoon, representing Madisonville. Got Carolyn Smith, good afternoon. Dina Johnson, the angel, good afternoon. Good afternoon, representing Walnut Hills. Bonita Gaines, out there in Roselawn, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is actually gonna be a short show. It's actually gonna be a short show because we started late and we're leaving a little early. We're leaving a little early. So if we get a whole hour in, then that's lucky. That's lucky. Shahira in the house, representing Bond Hill. Good afternoon. DeAndre Crosby in the house. Good afternoon. Pamela Kinney in the house. Good afternoon. Representing North Avondale. Good afternoon. Kathy Joe Wilson. Hey, Kathy Joe. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. Appreciate you. Let's see. What do we have to talk about today? Not a lot. I don't have a lot to talk about today. Yeah, not a lot. A mother is suing Indian Hill Exempted School District over incidents involving son. I saw that and I thought they're gonna lose. That mother and her child, they're gonna lose. My understanding, they filed this in federal court. But they're definitely gonna lose. Indian Hill, Ohio. Did I say Hills? Indian Hill, Ohio. Eden Castleberry has filed a lawsuit against the Indian Hill Exempt Village School District and the Indian Hill Football Club and several other people, including 7 unnamed minors, claiming her 9-year-old son, Will J. Castleberry, was a target of a pattern of racial harassment, violence, and deliberate indifference by the Indian Hill Exempted Village School District and its officials. By the way, I'm getting this story off of WCPO.com. Sean Delancey gets the byline on this one. And, yeah, I'm sorry, family, but we know, as a matter of fact, because we were told this on the show just the other day, we know as a matter of fact, Indian Hill School District could not have a pattern of racial harassment because they have a black kid playing football for them. So it's impossible. It's impossible for them to engage in a pattern of racial harassment. They got a black kid playing football, for God's sake. You can't, I didn't know this until the other day. You can't have any racial animosity or, of course, engage in a pattern of racial harassment if a black kid plays football for your high school. It's not possible. It's not possible. So we know they're going to lose. We know they're going to lose. So we don't even really need to talk about the story. We don't even really need to talk about the story. Just, we already know. Pat Rogers, good afternoon, representing East Westwood. Sierra Brooks in the house, representing Boston. Jack in the house. So I'm gonna miss you when you gone. I'm not going anywhere. Shirley Ellis Howe, good afternoon. It's my cousin. Steban Speed, representing Westwood, good afternoon. Terry Anderson in the house, representing downtown, good afternoon. Got Ken out there in Virginia. Ken and his dog is in the house. All right. Casey Brown, representing Arkansas. Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I don't know you, Casey Brown. I can't see your picture. because it's super tiny. But for whatever reason, saying Casey Brown sound really country. And then you say you're from Arkansas, but Casey Brown sound country. I don't know why. Casey, the name in and of itself, nothing country about it. Nothing country about it. Brown, it's a legit last name. As if there's an illegit last name. That's just a regular last name. But for whatever reason, Casey Brown sound like a country girl. Or woman. It just does. But thank you for checking out the show. I appreciate you. LaDonna Howard in the house representing East Price Hill. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Miss Pittsburgh in the house says good afternoon, everyone. Here we go. Lamont Jones says Grand Day, powerful royal people from somewhere in America. All right, you can't beat that, I guess. Somewhere in America. Dwayne Larkin, representing Mount Airy. Good afternoon. Vanessa Lynn Bennett, London. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Pat Rogers saying something to Casey Brown. Said, did she move there? I don't know if she moved there or not. I mean, I know you're asking her. I don't know if she moved there, but Casey Brown sound, yeah. James, good afternoon. James Benta, good afternoon. Brian E. Cherry, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. DeAndre said, too much crying over some drywall that was already raggedy. Couple more holes and all hell breaks loose. Still talking about that. Okay. B-Rab, what's up, B-Rab? Good afternoon. Kathy Joe says, cool shirt. Thank you. Thank you. Troy Scott, good afternoon. Pensacola in the house. All right. Jack says, Arkansas is the country. And the name sound country. That's it. That's all I'm saying. You do. Jacqueline Carter, our own Wonder Woman. Good afternoon. She's representing a rainy Evanston. E-Flat in the house. E-Flat in the house is you're hilarious. All right. James says that's a gay shirt. A gay shirt? I don't think this shirt has ever. I'm pretty sure it does not have a sexual orientation. I've known this shirt, since it was made, and I can guarantee you, it has not had any type of sexual relations with any other shirts. Walter Bradley is representing Duval County. I'm not saying Duval like that. I'm sorry. Casey says, I was called Downtown Casey Brown in high school. Okay. But Downtown Julie Brown. But Julie Brown don't sound country like Casey Brown. I don't know why. Ronnie Bronson, what's up? Janice Evans, representing Mainville, good afternoon. And Daryl Carpenter say, I'm here, sitting in the back, puffing on a cigar. Okay. Well, congratulations, I guess. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't get the feeling that cigar smoking is good for your health. Brent Beard, representing Dallas, Texas, good afternoon. Lewis C.K. Johnson, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you for checking us out. All right, back to what I was talking about. They say that this kid, the lawsuit filed against Indian Hill Exempted School District, as well as the Indian Hill Youth Football Club. It's just Indian Hill Football Club, but, youth football. And some other people. There's some terrible stuff in this lawsuit. The lawsuit claims the harassment culminated with a pair of attacks on Will J. at Indian Hill Elementary during recess by as many as 8 other kids. The Castleberry family said the kids used multiple racial slurs, including the N-word. He says one of them was drop kicking me, the rest was punching me. That's terrible. I've been drop kicked because, I used to wrestle. And it doesn't feel great. It's actually not horrible either, but I would imagine in a real life scenario, getting drop kicked doesn't feel good. And who's out there drop kicking people? Getting punched don't feel good either, but who the heck is out there drop kicking people? He was asked what was going through his head during the incident, and he said he was wondering, will I die? What will happen to me? And he thought, this is not a good moment. I would probably agree with him. His mama was sitting there, and his mama wants to know, where are the adults? I mean, they're holding him up by his chest and drop kicking him in the ribs. And look, for real, I don't know about this incident, of course. I just saw this story. And of course, I thought, there is no way that this happened. There's no way that this happened because it's Indian Hill. They got a black kid on the football team, for God's sake. But I did think back to school when I was coming up, and kids were mean. Kids did bullying stuff to other kids. And, you know, I know we've had all of this bullying awareness and all of that kind of stuff, but I still don't believe that school districts care. I don't believe teachers, administrators, counselors, and districts as a whole care at all about kids bullying kids. I just don't. And they can say they do, but there is no part of me that genuinely believes that they actually care. If they're standing there watching it, then they'll say, hey, stop. At one point in this story, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and read through some more of the story because there are other details. The lawsuit alleges the problem began in the fall of 2024 when 3 unnamed teammates at the Indian Hill Youth Football Club referred to Will J. by several racially problematic terms, including calling him monkey several times. Will, by the way, I'm assuming he's biracial. His mother definitely looked white, and his father definitely looked black. His mother looked white, his father looked black. And so they're calling him a monkey. And I can believe that this happened. Again, I had some experience with little league football and baseball and all that stuff when my son was playing. And a lot of them coaches don't care either. They don't care either. If you're not, one of the very talented kids, stuff happens. Now, you couldn't call, a really talented kid or bully a really talented kid. They wouldn't allow that. But if you just, kind of in the middle of the pack or one of the bench riders, stuff happens. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. So I could see that happening there. I could see them calling him a monkey and other stuff. The family claims 2 teammates later attacked Will after a football practice on September 18, 2025, saying one teammate hit his head into the ground and the other strangled him while he was pinned to the ground. Thomas said after each incident, the district either refused to take action or claimed they had no power to interview since the incident happened with the football club or after school hours, because the football club is not necessarily affiliated with the school district. They're not affiliated. They say this whole case is about a pattern of not taking action. The district issued a no contact order against Eden after the October 28 incident. Eden said it was done hours after she informed the school she planned to file charges against the students involved. And if I recall, hold on, let me see. I'm trying to read through some more of this. This kid actually experienced some like real injuries, like a concussion and some damage to his spleen. The drop kicks were not gentle. The drop kicks were not gentle. But look, the little Indian Hill football club, maybe them, maybe. I wasn't there, I can't say for certain. But I'm certain that the Indian Hill School District It's impossible. Because, they got a black kid to play there. They don't tolerate racism. And the way you can tell is because they got a black kid that play for the football team. So we know the district is fine. But these other kids, they might be in trouble. Might be in some trouble. Oh, hold on. I'm certain. Oh, let's see. Daryl says that was figuratively email. Oh, okay. Veronica Burdine, good afternoon. Veronica's representing College Hill. Too broke. Good afternoon. Of course, Diane Huddleston Angel, good afternoon to you. I see Nat Turner. Nat Turner is here. Kim Moore Eberhart, good afternoon. Lamont Jones say Popeye drop kicking people in Florida. I don't know exactly what that means. Walter Bradley says, isn't that where the rich people live? They thugging out. Well, rich people don't thug out. Only poor black people. Because, poor black people, they don't have parents. And when they do have parents, they're bad parents. And so poor black people are just the worst humans God ever created. That's what you would think if you listen to a lot of the conversation surrounding poor black people. And then, of course, they get mad at me because I say, every time they say, hey, this happened, and black people did this. And I say, well, white people do that too. And then they get mad at me. I don't know what's going on. Am I jumpy to y'all? I'm looking at it on my screen and everything is kind of jumpy, even though I'm sending out at a really good rate. Let me see. Nat, good afternoon. Jacqueline said they let it go on to somebody, till something bad really happens and needs to be corrected immediately. Yeah, I believe that. Tria said, hey y'all, what are we discussing? We're discussing that there's this lawsuit against, it's actually a federal lawsuit, my understanding. They filed a lawsuit against the Indian Hill Exempt School District and the Indian Hill Football Club, as well as several other people. It's a biracial child. He's black, and his mom is white, his dad is black, and yeah. Regina says you freezing on and off, or off and on. Oh no, what did she actually say? See what she actually said. You freezing on and off, okay. And Shahira says it's starting to get a little jumpy, but mostly you're good. All right. The shirt is blinding you, twin. And somebody said there's some poor white people in Indian Hill. Are there really? My perception of Indian Hill, I think I've been out that way once or twice. But my perception of Indian Hill is that it's a very affluent area, just the entire general area. But definitely the is it city or a township or a village or whatever it is, Indian Hill, my perception of it is that it is affluent. So there might not be any poor white people there. But that's my perception. Ronnie says, first half, now this. Indian, it's so great. E Flat says, I want to know why the Cole thought he could whoop a grown man and is Trump the Antichrist. I don't understand that question. I don't think Trump is the Antichrist. He's just a really, really bad guy. A horrible guy that twins should not have put in office. But I don't think he's the Antichrist. Tria says, is this the first lawsuit of its kind there? I doubt it. I doubt it. Fame says, I remember that kid from last year. I was wondering why he didn't play this. I see why now. Yeah. But again, Fame, I just want to be clear. I know that the Indian Hill School District did not participate in a pattern of racial harassment because the high school has a black kid on the team. So it's impossible for them to have participated in that. It is literally impossible. If you got a black kid on your football team, you can't do it. It's just impossible. What was the other Indian Hill controversy? I've been out of the loop. Oh, where they blamed the Taft football players for damaging property that was already damaged. They blamed Taft for doing it. And, yeah. Come to find out, yeah, it was already damaged. It was very well damaged. Why didn't they, I didn't want to go back to this. Why didn't they blame, because apparently, allegedly, it's been damaged for a while. Why didn't they blame any other team that's been in there all season? Why just Taft? We know, Fame, you don't even have to tell us. We know it wasn't racial at all. Because they have a black kid on their team, and so they can't possibly do anything racial. But why? Ken says, your black father naturally teach their sons how to defend themselves or simply fight. I don't know if that's true. Black fathers are like any other fathers. Some of them will do that. Some of them will not. And I don't want to say anything bad about this, the father or the gentleman who was there. I don't know if that guy is the actual father. But the mom took the lead in the interview, or at least in the portions of the interview that they showed. When I watched that whole news story about Indian Hill and the mom and the dad, or the mom and the kid, and the dad, I'm assuming that's the dad, a black guy. So he might not be the dad. He could be the stepdaddy. Or the mama's boyfriend. Oh no, let me see. Do they say Sean sits down with the Castleberry family and their attorney? But it doesn't say that he is the daddy. It doesn't say that he is the daddy. So he might not be the daddy. You never really know. But the mom took the lead on the interview. I know if it was my kid, the mama would not be taking the lead on the interview. I would be the one doing all the talking. The kid wouldn't be doing a lot of talking, and the mama wouldn't be doing a lot of talking. I would be the one doing the overwhelming majority of the talking. But you see that a lot. I see that a lot. Fame said, nah, I'm not sure how that family got into Indian Hill. The mom is urban white lady, them be the most ain't-ass women you'll ever be around. But the kid was kind of dominant. Yeah. Fame say that was almost well played. I'm going to give you numbers. Give me the numbers about why they was allowing people to drop kick this kid. Daryl said, I didn't know Taft and Indian Hill is in the same conference. I don't think they're in the same conference. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think they're in the same conference. I think that it was a playoff game, if I remember. And so they may be in the same division or not division. However, they may be division. They may be in the same division, like, you got Division 1, Division 2, or however they break that up in Ohio. So they may be in the same division for purposes of playing for a state championship. Y'all want to talk about the wall some more. What took so long to file a report if there was previous damage? That's a good question. That's a really good question. If the damage was already there, why wait until after the Taft game to file a police report for insurance purposes? The wall already needed to be fixed. And realistically speaking, I'm not a construction guy, okay? But my understanding of drywall is looking at that damage, they're gonna have to cut that, cut some drywall off where the damage is and replace that whole piece. Like, they not just patching 100 holes in there. They gonna cut that drywall off and replace that whole piece of drywall. Or those whole pieces, if I remember how the damage looked. So it doesn't really matter if somebody from Taft on that portion of the damaged wall punched an additional hole in the already damaged wall. They were gonna have to replace that anyway. Jack says, that's not worse than the Cincinnati Country Day incident where Dieters let all those white kids off for trying to penetrate black soccer player with remote control while out of town for a game in the hotel. I don't really remember that, but you can't say nothing bad about Joe Dieters. I once said, just because Joe Dieters says something is true doesn't mean it's true. And there is a man who still hates me to this day because I said we can't take Joe Dieters' word for something just because he said it. We should actually, see and or hear something. But just because Joe Dieters said it doesn't make it true. And I did preface that, or it wouldn't be preface. What is it afterwards? Supplemented? I don't know. I did say, now look, it could be true, but we have no proof or anything. We're just saying because Joe Dieters said it's true, it's true. I reject that. And there is a man who still hates me to this day. And nobody defended me on that either. People just let it be what it was. And so I'm guessing you can't criticize Joe Dieters. If you're black in Cincinnati and or Hamilton County, you cannot criticize Joe Dieters. I would never do it again. I would never criticize Joe Dieters again. If Joe Dieters said it, it's true. Hold on, let me see. T. Mikey G, good afternoon. Will Jones says it's raining out, but it's Friday, and he's in the building. All right. He is blessed, black, and highly favored. All right. You can't beat that. LaDonna says, I didn't see the damage. Hold on, let me see if I can find a picture of the damage. Indian Hill locker room damage. Images. All right. See if I can save this image. No, I don't want to save that one. Cancel that. Let's save this one. Save image. Just title it damage. That's enough. That's good enough. And then bring it in here. I'm bringing it in as an image so I can just use this image. Properties, browse. Sorry, I had to talk my way through this thing. Open. Okay. Okay. Oh, I gotta move it up. Oh no. Move it, move it, move it, move it. All right. And adjust the size of it. Move it there. You can go on over there. All right, that's the damage. That's the damage. The damage to the wall in the locker room at Indian Hill. E Flat says, I'm being ignored. Who's ignoring you? You point them out to me and I will deal with them. Samuel says, I misunderstood Joe. Yeah, yeah. So you got a couple, it'll be one piece of drywall. Oh, it's hard to do this because I'm looking reverse. So on this side, it'll be a piece of drywall. You know, they'll cut it. And then on this side, y'all can't see my finger, it'll be under there. On this side, it'll be a piece of drywall. Hold on, let me see something. No, that won't work. Yeah. It looks like they'll cut that drywall, get another piece or two of drywall, and put it up. T-My-E-G say that's a lot of damage. Right, and if you see the video, if you see the, hold on, let me see if I can grab this still. Save image as, we'll call you damage 2. All right, and let me add an image. Damage 2. Okay, browse. It is a lot of damage. It is a lot of damage. But this is a still of the damage that was there. And keep in mind, the camera was kind of sweeping across. And that was the last guy that it was in. So he didn't keep going because he wasn't trying to get a picture of the damage. But this is what was there when they arrived. See, there was already significant damage there when they arrived. Before they did anything, before they played the game, just walking into the locker room, there was already, as you can see here, there was already significant damage over there. There was already significant damage walking in the door. Yeah. Daryl says, so 2 sheets total. Kind of look like it. Kind of looks like it. Fame.
Hey, how your passive aggressive ass doing?
Uh, if that's me being passive aggressive, I'm doing good.
Oh yeah, you was up. Yeah, that was very that was very atypical of you.
No, no, no. I was
Um,
just look. I'm this type of guy. Remember a few days ago, I was calling it Indian Hills, and Tria and some other people let me know, Emanuel, it is not Indian Hills. There is no S on the end of it. It is Indian Hill. I listened,
right.
I learned, and now I'm calling it Indian Hill. That's just who I am. I like to be right. I like to learn. I like to know. I believe that same day you called in and you let us know they got a black kid on their team, so they couldn't possibly have any racial animus
That's not at all what
towards
I said.
anyone. If there's a black kid on a football team, you know the whole organization is, you know, 100% racially sensitive, and they could not have a prejudice bone in their body. I listened, I learned, and now I'm just sharing what I know. It's not passive aggressive, it's learning. I want to be right.
I think it's just ashy. That's not what I said. That's not where I went the other day, and you know that. But you're the gyro.
It is
You did so
100.
well.
It is 100% where you went the other day. It is.
No,
It really
no, I
is.
didn't. But let's just, for the sake of argument, say I did.
All
Okay.
right.
There are exceptions to every rule. Some people have 6 fingers and 6 toes. Okay. Not every rule is absolute. Okay. But from from what I know of Indian Hill, I've never had a problem with them. I've never had a problem with them.
Okay.
And not to mention the baseball coach is black. Of all the damn sports they could have a black coach, not on football but baseball. Yeah, the one that the N words usually don't play, right?
I'm sorry.
Considering there's only 6% in Major League Baseball. But I digress. Um, that if I remember right, like I said, that kid was dominant. Like he was getting busy on the field. And I guess they had so many kids, or it was that time of year because it was hot. They would rotate them in more often. Keep kids fresh or whatever. But that kid was pretty decent. Like he was solid. He was kind of big too, like long, like what I'm saying, like tall and long. It was like, and I remembered him, last year, playing like yeah. Then I didn't see him this year when we saw Indian Hill. And then I heard this story, and I'm like, oh, wow. That's why he didn't play. That's terrible. But like somebody was saying, like there's shacks in like low-income places in Indian Hill that I've obviously never seen them. Like the when I go through Indian Hill, like on Shawnee Run Road, like there's like big mansions that, look like they got butlers. I mean, gated entrances. These houses are phenomenal out there. But assuming that there are low income areas of Indian Hill, that family is I'm about 99% sure that they're part of it, because I just remember them because they were the only black people there on Indian Hill. Whatever that boy is, biracial, whatever the dad is, probably biracial himself, but it was just like, you could hear the mom yelling, and it was just like, oh wow, I can tell you ain't got no friends over there. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't. You don't see you don't see hip hop white guy and white girl coming out of Indian Hill. That was the first time I saw that since '92 when I've been going to Indian Hills. Like, ooh, I kind of wonder what's going on there. So something can't be right there, because I can guarantee you the parents don't have friends. The kids will have friends just because they're kids, blah blah blah. But I can just see that that the parents were having trouble.
If they're lower income, and he's biracial, because if that dude that was on the newscast is his daddy, the dude is black, the mama white, he's biracial, and that in and of itself could be the reason that they don't fit in and they don't have friends, as you say. Even though I know they got a black kid on the football team, I know that you think that means racism can't exist there, but it actually can.
No. there are several, for lack of a better term, all black families at Indian Hill, in various sports. There's one on the softball team. And they're not African. These are African Americans. I'm just saying that particular family, I know you're having problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've been around the Little League football scene. The parents are right on top of you. You can hear every conversation that you care to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, I can just, listen to her voice, her dialect, the tone, the pitch, everything about it. I was like, I doubt you guys have many friends out here. It was just that visceral, that obvious, like, oh yeah. So, and that's sad to hear that happened to that boy, if it's true. Because my thing is, somebody mentioned it in the audience, like, hey, dad taught they kids, if somebody put their hands on you, blah blah blah, handle that. And that's what I was wondering, 'cause like this kid's tall as, I think he was like a third or fourth grader last year, biggest kid on the field.
Wait. You would never teach your child that, right?
What?
Somebody
teach my child?
Yeah, to be violent.
To protect themselves?
To be violent.
Yes, to protect themselves, yes. To protect themselves, sometimes to protect yourself, you got to have a good offense.
Oh, man, I'm so confused by you. Because yesterday...
we're talking about adults putting their hands.
Because yesterday, one of the main reasons why you didn't believe in whooping was because it made kids violent. But you believe in just straight teaching them be violent. That's kind of weird to me.
Teaching them, take you to a karate class or something. Protect yourself. Don't go on the offense unless they make you go on offense.
It's weird.
But it's okay to protect yourself.
It's not consistent, just so you know.
It's very consistent. It's one for children and one for adults.
It's not.
Two different. It's a double standard because it's two different age groups.
It's not consistent. Teaching your children to be violent is teaching your children to be violent. And you were against teaching your children to be violent yesterday, but today you're all for teaching your children to be violent.
I didn't say be violent. I said protect yourself.
In a violent way.
Big difference.
In a violent way.
No, protect yourself. Somebody,
run,
like JV in the elevator.
Run.
That woman,
that's what
he
you
protected himself. He wasn't violent.
That's what you're teaching them. Run, nigga, run.
No,
you teaching them put them hands
somebody
on
try to
people.
hook off on you.
You be
violent.
Them. You be violent. Be violent.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I mean.
You ain't teaching. You are not teaching wax on, wax off. You teaching sock somebody if you got to sock somebody, and that's violent. I'm not against that, except for somebody who believes that kids shouldn't be taught to be violent.
Emanuel Livingston, you have a great, sizable listening audience, and those people listening, none of them heard me say sock them.
We know what you really hold on. Do you really believe we don't know what you mean when you say that?
No.
Okay.
No, I mean I said what I meant. Like I ain't got no reason to be coy about nothing on here. What the hell?
So you wouldn't teach your kid.
What's that into you? Are you okay, B?
So you wouldn't teach your kid to sock nobody if you felt like they needed to protect themselves.
If you can protect yourself without going on offense, do that. Okay. Most kids they throw 3-4 punches and they see that you got a little karate in you or something. You can protect yourself a little different. They finna back off.
Okay.
And hush. Remember when you was in school ages ago? You ain't touch that boy who had boxing skill or karate skill. You didn't want none of that. Nobody wanted none of that.
Only people I ever got into altercations with were people who were violent towards me. I've never aggressively assaulted, or at least I don't think I've ever been the instigator of a fight ever in my life.
Exactly. You went on offense when you had to. Now you see the difference.
No, because my parents whooped me, and so according to you, that is what instilled violence in me. But they also told me to, defend myself. So yeah, they were consistent.
Well, your dad was a preacher, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's that there you have it. He's reading from that book and think he's supposed to go ahead and bust the kids up. if they whistle too loud. You know, what they say, spare the rod, spoil the child, all that old monkey ass shit.
They do say that.
You know, from way back when, that they would say, you know, that's from a text from 2,000 years ago. Like, why are you still holding on to that?
All right.
Kids have changed. Society has changed. You can't just go putting hands on kids. That woman was mad about something else.
When do we let go of good child raising principles? How long before we let them go? Like, how long, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's a good child raising principle 700 years ago, so we can't do it anymore. How long do good child rearing and raising principles last? Like, what's the expiration date?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, because back then, you know, back when that particular book was written, you know, they were sexing 12-year-old kids. Now that's illegal.
Well, that's clearly not good child raising principles. That's not good.
Those are the principles they were raised back then,
okay.
2,000 years ago.
All right.
You see what I see? See what I say? But hey, Emanuel, it's always a pleasure. I hope you're back soon, at least Monday, or if not soon after. But if not, we'll chop it up again whenever you are. It's been real. I had fun. And there's a wolf on your ass, guys. Watch out. Oh!
Look, ain't no wolf on my ass. I just checked. Yeah. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of that stuff the family saying. I don't think he's consistent. I do believe foolishness is bound up in the heart of a child, and the rod of correction will drive it far from him. I believe that. If that's what you need. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you need. But yeah, I don't know. It hold on, no, but back to the drywall and the kids, the Taft kids. I don't think that CPS should do anything. Y'all got to replace that drywall. Just replace the drywall. Y'all had to replace it anyway. Period. That's really simple. Twin.
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, sir?
Yeah, I was tired. I ain't called in yesterday. I was listening, though.
You what?
I said I was tired. I ain't called in yesterday, but I was listening.
All right. You're not laying down, are you?
Say, hey, you need some, drinking some milk and some cookies.
Wait, are you laying down?
No, man. I said I'm sitting on the couch watching sports.
All right. Because I'm against a brother laying down while he talking to me.
You're a fool,
I
man.
don't believe in that, man. I just don't. Don't be laying down while you talking to me. Sit up. Talk to me like a man. That's like calling a dude while you taking a bath. You know what I'm saying? You don't do that.
I don't do stuff like that, man.
All right. Well, what's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Oh, no, man. I was watching YouTube and stuff, and I saw you on there. And you came a long way, man. You doing your little podcast with no, colorful lights or none of that. I'm like, it's a blackout or something. It was on YouTube. I ran across.
Huh.
I'm like, damn, that's like each started. I said, wow.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
I guess you did it after the. I don't know if you was still. You was still there. It looked like it had been like 4 or 5 years ago, maybe.
I would have been at the radio station doing it 4 or 5 years ago.
It looked like about probably 3 years ago then, cause you had on all black, and they had like a little black curtain or something behind.
I did do 1 or 2 shows. Just it was really impromptu, just to let people know what had happened when I got fired from the radio station. So okay.
Yeah, I seen it on YouTube. I was like, oh, yeah. But you talked about the whooping yesterday, man. Hey, I kid you not, man. Man, I was a clown in school, man.
What?
I never thought I was
a clown? I don't believe it.
Yeah, I'm a class clown, and I never thought, man. My OG came up there and embarrassed me in front of the whole class. And it wasn't it was a switch, man, and
Okay,
everything. There
wait.
wasn't no belt.
Hold on. I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to make sure I understand. When you say your OG, you
My
mean
mama, my mom.
okay? Because I thought you were talking about your dad or one of your uh
No, no,
people.
no. My mama, man, yeah. And man, them kids talk about me the whole time. And then I used to, me and my brother used to be bad as hell, man, growing up. And I got the most whippings and stuff, 'cause people always say, nah, it wasn't there. It was the other twin that did, and they point to me, man. And I was a mama's boy. I kid you not. And I say, Mom, why everybody got to say I did? So, well, did you just say no, Mom? So I cried and everything. And then my brother make fun of me. So you a sick. This is why you crying to Mom. And I said, that's why I'm going to get you back one day. So I almost super glued my brother's lips together. And I got caught. I was on my way. I got caught doing it. Because, man, every time I got mad, because I kept getting whoopings and he wasn't. He always used to laugh at me. I said, I'm getting you back, what? Your ass gonna pay for this. And he told, how many licks you got today? I think I counted 10. I told, I ain't getting no 10 licks. I told, yes, you did. And, I hated that growing up, man.
Yeah.
And then one time my daddy, he didn't know us apart. Unless my brother turned to the side, he had a scar on his face. He'll whoop me too. And I'm like, man, this is torture right here.
Wait,
So, man, I was...
just so I'm clear, you say your mama whooped you in front of everybody at the school?
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was a class clown, and she said, oh, you want to, because she had to go to a church convention, and she was going to be late, and they said, we have a parents-teacher conference right now at a certain time, so she got up there, and she said, the devil is a lie. I'm tired of this. I am not coming back up there. That was a second.
Hold on, wait. They had a parent-teacher conference in front of the whole class?
No. She supposed to came to the parents-teacher conference. So she finally came, and then she had a talk, and I was failing a little bit in grades and all that, and I kept getting wrote up and take this to your mom. And you remember they used to attach it to your notebook, your book bag or something like this?
Yeah, they give you
take
notes
that letter to your people. I never took it. I rip it up and everything. But they had it on file as, an extra copy in case I lied or something. So I had a big old file on me, and yeah, they went off that and
and so during school hours, they called your mother to come to school to have an impromptu parent-teacher conference, and then after
she was gonna be gone for a minute because she was going out of town for a Christian event. She was gonna be gone, so she said she was gonna come. I remember her talking to him on the phone.
Okay.
Said she was gonna be there, but I didn't know. So she showed up, and I seen them switches. Oh my God!
Wait, so so did you get a whooping for acting a fool in class while she was there? Like she walked in and saw you acting a fool?
No, it was she told them what happened, and she couldn't believe it. Now she was sending her boys there, get an education. Otherwise, she never thought. Because I always wanted to be a preacher when I was little, man. And when I grew up, I wanted to be a preacher. I always playing a preacher and everything, and so she never thought I was like that, and and man, I guess I made her mad or something, and she beat the hell out of me. I know that, and then I straightened up. Hell yeah, I straightened up.
Well, you clearly
they talked about me for.
No, you clearly
that
did not.
year.
You clearly didn't straighten up.
Yes, I did.
No.
I ain't sure I no more as a class clown no more, man. I ain't do that crazy.
You just
man,
moved.
Man.
We have different definitions of straightened up then. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I ain't do what I was doing. Being a class clown.
You did different bad stuff.
Yeah, so I straightened up and I got talked about the whole year, man. And all that. Never knew it was happening until you better shut up or I'll call your mama.
Right. I'm still
Then the
not.
girls was teasing me, times that we can't go out because you go get a whoop. I said, what? How you go get a whooping if we go out?
Wait, how old were you when this whooping happened?
I'm probably about 9, I want to say 8.
And you were taking girls on dates at 8?
You know we like meet at the park or something like that,
At
or meet
8?
at the
Wait, at
you know
8,
the
you was meeting girls at the park?
man. I'm buying icy cups and slapstick and yeah, we meet up at the park or we meet up at the church and stuff. Remember vocational act school program, vocational Bible class.
8.
We'd meet up there in the basement.
So you're talking about in the 3rd grade?
Yeah, man.
In the 3rd
Not
grade,
probably.
you was
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah.
You had money and you were buying girls stuff and meeting them at the park on your own
Man,
at
they
8 years
the
old.
play girlfriends, man.
Look, I'm just
They
trying
the-
to understand.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I
yeah.
know about you. You are much more advanced than me at that age. Because at the age of 8, I wasn't really even allowed to go up and down the street by myself, a whole lot. Like, I could go over to neighbor's house, and it was a few neighbors down the street that I could go over their house. But I definitely couldn't call up no chick and be like, hey, meet me at the park at 8 o'clock. I got something for you. You know what I'm saying? At 8.
Yeah, when I used to have them little something, them choke sandwiches and stuff, them hard, thick old bologna, and we meet up at the park for summer program and all that. I was going there for the girls. I wasn't going there for that little stupid lunch sandwich. I hated that lunch sandwich and that white box.
Okay.
I couldn't stand it. Then we used to go to Great America, Six Flags Great America and everything. So I was going for all that. So, yeah.
Okay. Look, I'm not saying you're not. I'm just saying you were definitely, you was in Chicago too, so you were definitely much more advanced than I was. At 8 years old, I'll be honest,
Yeah,
I didn't meet a single chick at the park and buy her nothing. I feel so left behind.
No, that was my, we had play girlfriends and all that.
Okay.
But, yeah, that's how I grew up in it. But, I asked my daddy, though, to be honest, on the real side.
Uh-huh.
You know how somebody mentioned it yesterday. I don't know how I should put it. I had asked my sister asked my daddy, and then I asked my sister. I'm like, why daddy hit mama and stuff? And then she was like, when he was little, because he grew up in Greenwood, Mississippi, way in the Delta and everything. So asked my sister, like, why daddy hit mama? And then he said when he was little, because he grew up like, about 9 or 10 of them too, his family. So he was like, when he was little, he was the only one. He had a mean auntie. He was the only one that used to get beat. And so as he grew up, that caused trauma to him, and that's what he had told me. I said, oh. Because I thought he was doing out of anger or, upset with my mom, but I just wanted to know as a shorty when I asked my sister why he do it. And some people say, it come from getting beat or childhood trauma or something like. Sometimes it can be like that, man. Sometimes, people just, a domestic person. You never know in my eyes.
I don't like you
That's what I was
calling.
hearing you.
I don't like that term, a domestic person. Even though I think I understand what you mean, but sometimes you just got bad people out here who are bullies who don't respect other people. And
So what was Eternal then?
a bad person who didn't, if he did what he's accused of doing, just a bad person who don't respect other people.
He was domestic.
He was what?
He was a domestic person.
He was a regular person. What? He was a person.
Man, hey, hit that note. Wow. She didn't hit. Hey, go get this. Wow. Hey, you getting up out of this bed. I don't care if you do got stitches in you. We got to make this record. No, I'm not going nowhere. Wow.
Right.
Come on, man.
He was a bad person if he did that. That's just a bad person. That's not a domestic person. That's a bad person with control.
Every time he couldn't, especially he was getting faded in the studio and everything high. And once you get faded and everything high or drunk, ain't no telling what's on that mind. Man, I remember they owed me $5. I remember she cheated on me. I remember this and all that. I don't like him. Now you fighting or pulling out the gun. So you never know what type of mood swing you in when you got that you dig up in you. Or you faded like that. You never know.
Right, but what that got to do with being a domestic? Then you are a drunk person and a bad person with control issues.
Man, that's a domestic person, man.
That is,
Straight
I don't like that term.
Okay, get locked up. Okay, when you get locked up, what they say, E?
They say
what they charge you
you're
with?
under arrest.
For what?
You said domestic violence?
A domestic person, domestic violence, however you want to put it.
No,
man, come on, E.
No, those are different. I'm a domestic person.
Right.
I live here with my wife, and we have domestic relations and all of that kind of stuff. We are domestic. We are living here together. We are a family. I'm a domestic person. I'm not a person who commits acts of domestic violence.
Man, you know what I'm talking. Quit being extra on this. I know y'all one union, one domestic, or whatever. Come on, man. But I'm saying, you're a domestic person. You know, you can be a domestic person, but that domestic person turn into domestic violence.
Right. So everybody just about is a domestic person.
Well, you know, you trying to be extra now, man. I'm just putting it as, I'm just labeling it as domestic, man.
Right, I
I'm
think
saying
that's
domestic.
bad. Yeah, I think that's bad.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's bad to label that
How hard it is for you to catch up. Dang.
You
If
the
I
one
say
need to
domestic
catch
is
up.
something,
I'm trying to tell you it's a bad person.
you ain't got to tell me nothing,
But-
dude. Domestic. Regardless you neutron to the situation, whatever that you in or whatever, and the relationship, you domestic. I mean, we domestic with this, but you trigger this, and there's gonna be violence to it.
All right. I just want you to
Come
know.
on, and you acting brand. You don't want me to know nothing, man. You just want to go off for no reason.
No, I wasn't going
Trying
off.
to be extra. You know what I'm talking about.
I wasn't going off. As a matter of fact, I said I don't like that term. And just so you know, when you
Okay.
said you ain't got to tell me nothing, you reminded me of Lil Nas X for some reason. Just so you know. So, you might not want to say that in that way.
This guy crazy. Hey, E, man. E, I've been watching this, man. This whole year's been crazy in the city of Cincinnati, Ohio, man. From the brawl downtown to the election, local election and all that, to what the mayor and Messi Mika and all them doing, and black folks getting played now to a damn wall. Come on, E. Come on, E. It's crazy, man. Whenever this puppet show goes stop in the city of Cincinnati, man.
I'm not sure what you're
I
talking
just don't
about.
understand.
What are you talking about?
Man, it's a puppet show. Just, man, dude, they rather
That was
focus
nasty
on
as
this
hell.
stupid bra.
No, I just say that was nasty.
What you say?
That was nasty. Ugh.
I didn't want to. I'm standing outside because I didn't want to drop my phone.
But did
I'm
you
sorry.
swallow a fly or something?
No, piece of lint.
Okay, but go ahead. You were
No,
telling
sir.
me, you were explaining to me the puppet show.
Yeah, it's a straight puppet show. But E, you had the brawl, the fight, now the drywall and all that. But you got the homeless E, and then you got people now about to get displaced, and there's gentrification down there on the West End. Ain't nobody talking about it, really. No, I just don't understand, man. I really don't. But I don't know. I really don't, man. It's hard for people. It's already hard out here for people, and the way you got the whole your people down there, the Democrats, and start running the show.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Honestly, you didn't say nothing. You didn't say a damn thing. You said a lot of words, but you didn't say nothing.
Have you been watching the news lately in Cincinnati?
I watched the news a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Since I ain't saying nothing, have you been hearing about the West End? How they
Hold on.
about to
Wait, but what
how
I'm
they about
saying,
to take in?
hold on, let me be clear. When I'm saying you didn't say nothing, okay, you said a lot of stuff. Hold on, let me
You can't say none if you can't say none if you don't come off rip talking about and study your intro. Hello for such and such from Paddock. Hello such and such from Von Hill. And you don't come in like, hey, did y'all hear about you said some stupid drywall. But you ain't saying nothing about something that's real important. About people being
You
homeless or
didn't
people
say
down there
you
about
didn't
to be
say
displaced.
anything about it. You just said a lot of stuff.
I don't have to say if your goof ass come in here talk about it. You need to be talking about something important. You found some bullshit ass drywall that you can call damn Black Line and come fix. That's what you talking about. Talk about something important.
So raising
Y'all don't
kids,
talk
hold
about
on,
the
just so
real.
I'm clear, raising
Fuck
kids,
that damn drywall.
raising kids is not important.
You said what?
Raising children, that's not important, right?
You didn't talk about that.
Yes, I did. Racism
I can't.
and having a fluent school district blame a group of young black kids for damage that already existed, that's not important to you.
No, fuck that damn drywall.
All right, so you don't care about
That's
racism
as
because
I
I
look.
perceive that as racism.
Man,
Racism is not
everything
important
got to
to
be
you.
racism now. Hey, you look at everything got to be racism now.
You don't think that was
Anything you
racism?
talk about is
Hold on, you don't
it's,
think
it's probably
you don't think that was racism?
for what? Blaming the black kids?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then what the F are you talking about? Everything gotta be racism. You acknowledging this even that it was racism. So what do you mean why everything gotta be racism?
Because every time I listen to a conversation or hear people talk, oh, that's racism. That's this. That's that.
Because
Like, damn, everything got to be racist.
Racism is all over the place, bro. It's all over the place.
Man, everything don't have to be racism. Y'all, people want to play the victim all the time. So a lot of stuff don't be racism,
Like
man.
what?
People just
like
do.
what? What ain't racism?
I'm just saying.
No, tell me. If everything
a lot of
ain't
things don't be.
racism,
No,
tell me
you're not
what
about
ain't.
to break it down to me. Forget
No,
that.
I
And I'm
want
not
you to
about to
break
do
it
it.
down to me. Tell me what is not racism.
No.
You
When I hear
just
things,
talked
people like,
about.
oh,
You
that's
just
racist.
talked about.
That's this.
You just talked about black people being displaced due to gentrification. That's not racism.
No, that's not racism. You know what it's called?
No, tell me.
Your local leaders not paying attention to what your damn vote matters to, your interest. That's what that's called.
Oh, that's stupid.
Nigga, this our shit we taking over.
That's stupid.
Y'all here at the chance whatever we bringing our people back. Ain't no damn racism.
If the purpose is to displace, as you said, poor black people, that's racism.
You said what now?
If the purpose is to displace black people, that's racism.
That's not racism.
Then what do you think racism is?
I believe when they, I'm just saying, we focus on the wrong thing. Like that drywall and all that, man, that's minor, man.
Wait, what do you
That's
think
soft
racism
issues, man.
we moved on from that. What do you think racism is?
You know what racism is? When I first moved, I'm gonna tell you. When I moved to Mississippi, and that redneck ass KKK ass principal go tell me something. He put the U on. He said, "Why should I let you boys in my school?" And I looked, and he had a little what them things is, the Confederate flag belt. You know them little steel, little chrome looking, the real leather belt. And I looked down. I said, "Yeah, KKK dude." And then he said that. He said, "You boy." And I looked at my mom, looked at my twin. I said, "Man, who the hell you talking to like that, calling us a boy?" I said, "We from Chicago. We don't play that." And my mom was like, "Oh, be quiet, be quiet." I'm like, "No, ma. Who the hell you think he talking to?" And so he said, "Boy, who is boy?" And that's racism. To me, what are you talking about? Now that's racism. Because I never heard no. I mean, I'm from the city. I ain't never heard. I never liked it that you boys and yes sir, no sir. But my grandma and granddad, it's about respect and So I say yes ma'am or no ma'am. But I always said yes or no. I never liked it that yes sir, yes ma'am, and all that goop. I'm from the city. I don't know nothing about this.
Wait, hold
But
on.
when he said you boys,
Right, just so I'm clear, it's not racism unless it's a white man in the KKK with a Confederate flag belt on saying "you boys." Everything
you
else
asked me the definition. What is racism?
and that's
so
the definition of racism to you.
I experienced it.
So,
I experienced
so
that.
that's the definition of racism to you, right?
Yeah. When
Okay.
man, I ain't never known nothing about that.
Okay.
I'm from the city. I ain't know. That dude said, that redneck dude said, you boys.
You got me.
Watch out, let you boys in my school.
Look,
and I ain't never, I never grew up around white folks.
You win.
I grew up around Mexican.
I learned something else. I learned something today. See, this is why I appreciate having these conversations, because I learned stuff. Like, I've never experienced racism. No, I've never experienced racism. I was never in Mississippi talking to a white KKK guy with a Confederate belt on who said, you boys. So I've never experienced racism. So I didn't know that was the definition. And now that I know, I will stop saying that anything that don't include being in Mississippi, talking to a KKK white man with a Confederate belt on, saying you boys,
whatever.
is
You
not
just
racism.
trying to be extra. Yeah,
Because
you trying to be extra
isn't
now.
that what you just said is the definition of racism?
You asked me to give you an example.
No, I didn't.
And I'm speaking
I
funny.
didn't ask you to give me an
You said
example.
explain to me. Okay, you said explain to me. So I explained to you my experience of having. I mean, being traumatized a little bit about it because I didn't know what it was.
I learned now. Now I know what the definition of racism is.
No, man, I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb. You trying to be extra and all that.
Who called you dumb?
And
I
you
never
gonna talk
called
about
you
it when
dumb.
I get off your horn and everything,
Wait,
man. Stop playing.
Just so we clear, I didn't call you dumb.
Man, I know you did. But I'm saying that you go get off me. No, that's some dumb shit he just said and all that.
No, I'm going to get off of here and I'm going to reiterate to everyone that I now know what the definition of racism is.
No,
and
I know you. I know
before.
you. You flip that like some hot pancakes. So I know how you are.
Displacing,
that's how you are.
Intentionally displacing black people so that white people could get wealth is not racism. Because those people ain't in Mississippi, they not in the KKK, they ain't got on no Confederate belt, and they ain't saying you boys. So that is not racism. I learned something today. Come on, let me just learn. Don't be mad at me because I'm learning.
I don't trust your short ass. You lying. That's how you roll. So no, I don't trust you.
I don't
None
know
of
what
that.
to, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, did you have a date today with Lincoln Ware or something? Because he was MIA today on the radio. And you was kind of late for 30. You said you'll be on. You was a little bit coming on after 4:30. So what y'all do today? He helped you get the job the other day, and now he was MIA today. So tell the audience what did y'all make up or have y'all coffee and cookie summit or something?
I can't even think about it
What
because
happened?
I'm still basking in my new education on what racism is. And that's got my entire brain occupied. I've been looking at racism wrong all these years. So, yeah. I'm sorry, I can't even think about it. I can't even think about it.
Yeah, okay. You have a good weekend, E. It's been Trill on here talking to you. And
19?
hope you have a good
19, bro. 19.
No, and I'm gonna go say 6'7". You know what 6'7" is, right?
No.
You don't know what 6'7" is?
No.
I'm saying you heard it, right?
I've heard it.
People be saying 6'7".
I've heard little kids say it.
Yeah, ain't nothing but a street out of Chicago. This rapper Skrilla. He off 67th Street, and so he go viral and all that crazy stuff. So
well, I haven't heard any grown men talking about it. But okay.
I'm telling you what it is.
I don't care.
I was just telling you in case you like to learn. You said, so I was just telling you. But I don't say 19. I say 1.
I say 19, and I
Only,
said it first. So if I
well,
say 19,
only time I
no,
say
no,
19 if I'm
no,
addressing it
no,
is
no,
GD code
no, no,
21519.
no, no.
Other than that,
If
I don't
I
say no
say
19.
19 first, you supposed to repeat 19.
No, it's always
Yeah,
one love
no,
under the
no,
nation.
no, no.
No,
I
I'm not.
said
No,
19.
I'll holler. No, I'll holler 21519.
19.
I'll holler. I'll scream that. Well, other than that, I'm not gonna say 19.
So
Cause
you
there's
just
different
you're just
codes
not
on
gonna
there,
follow
man.
you're not gonna follow the code.
I follow the GD code 21519, but if I say 21419, I'm following somebody else's code.
No, I
So
just
it's got to
said
be on the one.
19. 19, nigga, 19.
Hey, lower your damn voice, clown.
Man, you
You
won't say
talk.
19. You out of here. Don't break the code. I say 19, you say 19. When you said 1, I said 1. We trying to change the rules. Yeah, I learned something today. I learned what racism actually is. Mississippi, these are the components. If it doesn't include all of these components, it's not racism. You got to be in Mississippi. It's got to be a white man. He's got to be a member of the KKK. He's got to have on a Confederate flag belt. And he's got to say, "You boys." If it does not have those 5 elements, it's not racism. It's not racism. And I didn't know that. I thought something different. Um, and then somebody helped me understand. He said a lot of stuff. The brawl and the gentrification and the election. And I don't even remember everything else that he said. See? What? You didn't say nothing. You just mentioned a lot of stuff, but you didn't say anything. I don't know. I don't always understand stuff when it happens. I have to take some time and think about that. What else is going on? What else is going on out in these streets? They tell me crime is down, and that's a good thing. Crime is down. That's a good thing. You can't beat crime being down. So, I guess maybe the police chief was doing a good job. Now they saying it's this, who are the people? The sheriff's office is working with the Cincinnati police, and then it's somebody else. And so it's more policing is what's keeping the crime down. All right. Hey, if that's what's happening, then that's what's happening. I'm glad crime is down, even though people will be mad and say crime ain't really down. Crime ain't really down. They telling you crime is down because, crime is down, but people still getting shot. Like that. Do you know what crime being down actually means? It means crime is down. People can still get shot and crime overall be down. And I was watching CPS and Cincinnati City Council held Ohio's Patrol. Thank you. Cincinnati City Council and CPS held a joint meeting, and they were talking about things. I wasn't at the meeting. I just saw a report about the meeting. But somebody tell me, did they discuss the homeless kids in Cincinnati? Because if CPS is trying to come up with the homeless lot that nobody really likes. If CPS is trying to, when you're in a joint meeting with Cincinnati City Council, that would be the perfect time to say, I know we're talking about, what do they call truancy and, all of that kind of stuff. I know we're talking about all that stuff. But can we talk for a minute about homelessness in Cincinnati and how it affects CPS students? And we want to do something about it. Can you guys work with us and help us actually tackle some of this homelessness in Cincinnati? I would think that would be a great time to bring that up. And again, I wasn't there. I watched the news, and I didn't see anybody bring it up on the news. Was that brought up yesterday? In the joint meeting? I'm for real, I'm asking. I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it on the news. But just because the news doesn't show it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Alethea, hi, by the way. Alethea says, and I mean all of them. What are you talking about? Stephon says food insecurity as well. Were these issues brought up? Stephanie says, and it took all this time for lives and brawls for them to realize to put more police on patrol. I think effectively, I'm not some sort of law enforcement guru. I'm not. I'm just some guy. I'm some guy who just try to think about stuff. I don't actually know that having more police on the street is necessarily the reason why crime is down. I don't know that having police do all of these patrols is necessarily why crime is still down. Or why crime is down. Because I don't necessarily believe that it takes that. I think it takes more effective policing to help with those numbers. Like policing in a better way. Having police where they're needed, but not necessarily harassing people because that's always been my issue with, people. Well, you got high crime areas and you have to have a concentration of police in high crime areas. That's kind of true, sure. That can help if it's done right. But I find, at least it's my perception, that when they put a lot of police into higher crime areas, those police aren't necessarily there to bring crime down. They're there to kind of create crime, if you will. Like, if you got a whole lot of police in the neighborhood, I could do the same thing over in Hyde Park. But the area where y'all got a whole lot of police, if I jaywalk, I'm going to get a ticket. Crime is up. And they start looking for little petty stuff. He spit on the sidewalk, and that's against the city ordinance. And now you got another crime. Well, they were outside talking loud, and so now you got a disturbing the peace, and that's another crime. They're not actually there. They don't, and again, it's my perception. When they come in hot and heavy, it's not a matter of we're here to make the community feel safe. Or even to make the community safer. It's, we're here And now we gonna find some crime to justify being here. Instead of, we're here and we got our eyes peeled for the real crime, violent crimes and all that kind of stuff. We're saturating the neighborhood so that people don't feel comfortable, what they call open air drug dealing and all that kind of stuff. That's why we're here. Stephanie says, but I'm sure putting more police on patrol has made a difference. Crime is down. Well, the weather is cooler, and I think that makes a difference. I think having police maybe there helps a little bit. But I'm still one of those people who believe, and this is my belief, I could be wrong. I'm still one of those people who believe people who just are setting out to commit crimes, they're going to commit crimes. Having a whole lot of police there ain't going to stop it. Again, there were police on Fountain Square when that shooting happened at City Bird. So police being there doesn't necessarily stop crime. Katrina says if parents would whoop their kids, there wouldn't be a problem on the streets with teens acting a fool. I don't necessarily believe that's true. Teens are going to act a fool. E Flat says, I want you to be outraged that a correction officer took his belt off and spanked the inmate at the Justice Center. Okay, I didn't see that story. Let me look that. You keep trying to force me to talk about what you want to talk about, and I'll look it up. And let me look it up and see if that actually happened. All right, corrections officer accused of hitting inmate with a belt. Okay, but that's okay. If I learned nothing else yesterday, I learned that that's okay. It's wrong for parents to take off their belt and hit kids, but it's okay for law enforcement to do it. So I don't know why you're so offended. Right, Alethea? Right? It's okay for law enforcement to take off their belt and hit a person, a kid, whoever. But it's wrong for a parent to do that. I think we all understand that to be the case. So, I don't know. People don't really have a problem with that. Here, for real though, here's my question. And of course, this goes back to yesterday where we had the video of the woman whooping her kid for 14 seconds. Here's my question. And now, we have apparently a guard took off his belt and, whooped the inmate. Here's my question. If parents can't physically discipline their child and nobody else can physically discipline their child, where do we expect the children who, in some cases, they're only going to respond to some sort of a physical discipline? I'm not saying it's all cases. I'm not saying it's most cases. I believe sometimes it's necessary. If it might sometimes be necessary, but it's never acceptable, where are those kids gonna get disciplined, the ones who that's necessary? And again, I'm not I'm not a huge, I'm not just on here. I have before. But I'm not on here. Stephanie says, no, you are wrong about that, E. No one deserves to be hit with a belt. That is like whipping somebody like during slavery times. Stephanie, you are wrong. You are wrong. I believe sometimes it is necessary. I believe sometimes it's necessary. With a belt, with a switch, with a stick, whatever. Sometimes there are people who won't listen until they realize that there are some consequences that they don't like. And you can, talk reasonably to some children and they won't listen. And some, teenagers and they won't listen. And you can punish them and they won't listen. And you can, take things away and all that kind of stuff, put them in programs and they won't listen. But for some of them kids, one good whooping and be, oh, okay, wait, no, that's real. That's real. Like I don't need my phone. And I don't care about going to some boring meeting. And I don't care about these long lectures. And I don't care about this and I don't care about that. But you pop, hey, all right, I don't want to get hit. Let me straighten up. That exists. Mary says, a belt is a weapon. A belt is a weapon. Yes. Your hand can be a weapon. I listened to Alethea yesterday, and your mouth can be a weapon. I'm not sure what the significance of saying that is. I think it's okay every once in a while there might be a kid that need a whooping. And I don't think what I'm saying is controversial at all. Not at all. Not even a little bit. But listen to what y'all say. I got one person saying, hey, you got a kid in jail or a person in jail and somebody took off their belt and hit them. And oh, that's horrible. And you got other people saying, oh, parents, they shouldn't be able to take a belt and hit their kid. That's horrible. And again, my question is for those kids who ain't gonna listen. Going to jail ain't gonna stop nothing. Cause they don't care, getting punished ain't gonna stop nothing, ain't gonna change. For those kids that really all they need is one good whooping to change their whole mindset. Who gonna reach them if can't nobody give them what they need? That's why I be asking people. People think I be trying to be funny. I'm very rarely ever trying to be funny. When I ask questions, I'm very rarely ever trying to be funny. And I wanted to ask Alethea yesterday, which I think I actually did ask her, well, what could have changed your behavior? If being talked to didn't change it, I've asked a number of people this who, and I've even asked Twin. If being talked to didn't change your behavior, being punished didn't change your behavior, getting a whooping didn't change your behavior, what could have changed your behavior? What could have stopped you from going that route? And then you would imagine, you're a grown person. You're an adult at this point. You should be able to look back and analyze your life, your demeanor, your understanding of things, and be able to look back and say, I think if this would have happened, I would have never done those things that I did. A lot of us can look back and say a whole lot of stuff that I did not do was because I got whoopings. Stephanie says, And you know that this is a horrible, horrible response when you're saying words like only. No, you are wrong. It only teaches children to be violent towards others. That's not true. I don't believe in being violent towards people. And I got whoopings. If the only thing a whooping does is teach kids to be violent towards others, then I would be violent towards others. That would be my default, because I got whoopings. You said only. The only thing it teaches is children to be violent towards others. That's clearly not true. That's clearly not true. And it's all in how you talk to children. If you're yelling, if you are yelling, children yell. Calmly talking to children works. It doesn't work with all children. See, these absolutes, and this is just me, I'm not a believer in absolutes because I believe everybody's different. I believe all children are different. Just like children learn differently. That's why they got all these different Some people learn hands-on. Some people learn lectures. Some people learn, it's all different types of ways that people learn. But you're saying there's only one way to teach a child. Only one. Just talking calm. That's how all children learn that. That's not true. That's just not true. Again, I use my kids as examples. I had 3 of them. Youngest one, I really didn't have to do nothing. I just talked to her. And looked at her. And if she did something wrong and I looked at her, she was in tears. I had another one who, I might have to threaten him from time to time. Hey, what did I say? All right, you gonna get it. And if he really thought he was gonna get it, he would straighten up. And I had another one who she didn't believe she was gonna get it until she got it. And then once she got it and realized if I do it again, I'm gonna get it again, I won't do it now. 3 different children, 3 different ways of raising them. No, the only thing it teaches violence. That's foolish. That's foolish. The only way to teach a child is to calmly talk to them. It's the only way. That's foolish. I say that's the best place to start. Start with, I'm going to calmly talk to you. And see if that works. And if that works, great. But what if that don't work? What if you calmly talk and you explain and you this and you that, and they out there doing bad stuff, like bad stuff. And you bring them in and you talk to them again. It's wrong to rob people. Jacob, it's wrong to rob people. You shouldn't rob people, Jacob. That's taking from someone something that you didn't earn, Jacob. That's wrong. And Jacob yeah, all right. And then Jacob go rob somebody tomorrow. Ooh, I talked to him calmly. But bring him back in and calmly tell, Jacob, you shouldn't rob people. That's wrong. Jacob done robbed somebody every day for the last 30 days. Well, but I'm talking calmly to him, and he's learning. I'm sure he's learning. You might need to tell Jacob, I'm going to beat your ass if you rob somebody. That Jacob might be the home on my ass beat. I want my ass beat. I might not rob nobody. Or he might. And then you beat that ass. And then Jacob hey, I didn't like that ass beating. I ain't robbing nobody else. Or at least I'm going to try my best not to get caught robbing nobody else. So I had to be real careful about it. So I might not be able to rob somebody every day. But, maybe once a month I'll rob a nigga. But, No, Jacob, don't rob anybody. I know you robbed someone yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. But don't rob anyone, Jacob. It's wrong. It's wrong to do. Do you understand, Jacob? Jacob, do you understand me? It's wrong. See, that's how I teach Jacob. I just teach Jacob. I just calmly talk to Jacob. Jacob might not learn that way. It's the only way to teach a child. That's foolish. CK.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Livingston?
Oh, you're
Hey.
breaking up a little bit. How you doing?
Okay, there you go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Yes, sir. The discipline debate is phenomenal. You did catch her on that. I think even she would say she was wrong. No, there is no only. And I'm going to give you a subject matter. One time I went over my cousin's house, who is married. He has 2 daughters, right?
Okay.
The daughter was 13, right? My little niecey boo. She's like 13. When they open the door, she punches me in the stomach, right? Knocking it. Now she got good size on her, but she knocks the wind out of me, right? This not my kid. I instinctively smacked her on her ass so hard. She about 13, 14. I smacked, bow. That was it.
What?
But it was instinct. It was like it wasn't no thought or nothing. Because I'm like, what the fuck? How you just gonna punch me in my damn stomach as soon as I open the door? But then I came right. I was just as retarded as her. She retarded. I'm retarded. But that's what I came right back with. It was like a counterpunch. I wanted to get your thoughts on that type of discipline, and it wasn't even my child.
I'm confused about the story that you just told me. Oh, repeat that
Okay,
again.
let me get it clear.
Yes.
It's your house. It's your house.
All right.
You have 2 daughters.
I got 2 daughters.
And your wife.
All right.
We in our late. Well, you about 30. You're the older cousin, so you about 33. I'm about 28.
Okay.
I'm coming over your house.
You come to my house.
Your daughter answers the door. Hey,
answers the door.
as I'm waving to my waving to y'all in the kitchen, she proceeds to punch me in my stomach with like a
Just out of
bolo
nowhere.
punch, like boom.
Why? Hold on.
That's
why,
the whole.
Wait. Why would she just punch you in the stomach? Just
Exactly, motherfucker. Just like exactly. Why would anybody put exactly? That's why I smacked her on the ass.
No. That was not a rhetorical question. I'm asking why.
No, exactly.
Why?
No, I'm asking too. That's what I'm saying. I'm asking you. It's just like if you was telling me, I don't know. I can't tell you to this day why she did it. I'm just telling you what happened.
That's
why you asking me to explain something I can't explain.
Wait. It has to make sense to me a little bit. Did you know these people?
I said it's my cousin. It's like my niece.
So this is your niece.
Like
Did y'all
niece.
hold on? Did y'all like play that way or something like that? Y'all tease each other,
Never.
you know, doing all kind of stuff. So you just go over yo. Wait a minute, this is your niece. So you just go over your brother's house, and then.
So it's not my brother. It's my cousin. She's just like that. She's like my cousin.
Well, that's not that's not your niece. That would be your cousin then.
No, but I'm saying it's like the niece with the ages and shit.
But no. That would still be your cousin. No, it would still be your cousin.
Right.
Even a baby cousin is a cousin, not a niece.
Right.
So your cousin, you go over your cousin's house, and you ain't never played with your cousin in this way or anything like that.
Hell no.
She don't play with her daddy like that or nothing, and just out of nowhere, you walk in the door, and she just punch you in the stomach.
Now, listen, she probably is like that on her end. I don't know the girl that damn well. I learned that day when she got to know me, too. But I'm saying you don't know how she probably is like that.
Can
she
I
probably
tell you?
Be hitting on folks.
Look, I'm not saying that I don't believe you. I am not.
Man, I don't give a fuck if you believe. Stop telling motherfuckers if you believe it or not. People don't tell you shit and see if you believe it.
I am not telling you that I don't believe you. That's what I'm not saying that. But it sounds like I heard a similar story, okay? It was these 2 guys, it was actually 3 guys in a barbershop. And one guy was saying that he met Dr. King. And he say he was walking down the street and he came around, Dr. King came around the corner, punched him in the stomach. And he said, oh, I didn't know, I thought you was somebody else. And it sounds a little bit like that story to me.
Well, real life is telling you what happened. She punched me in the stomach. So get the fake shit out your mind, because you fuck up your podcast when you be trying to analyze it real or not. It don't matter if it's real.
No,
it's
just
I'm just saying you got to stop trying to analyze shit if it's real or not, because it don't matter if it's real.
I just want to understand.
It don't matter.
I just want to understand.
But the whole moral to the story is I got physical, so I hit her back in front of everybody, and she gave me that look like, how dare you hit me? But I'm thinking like, how dare you hit me? But I'm a grown man at the time, so I always felt like that's an interesting. Just imagine if her parents took it the wrong way.
What did you say
But
to
I'm
the
like,
parents?
shit.
What did you say to the parents?
I was like, what the fuck, man? What's wrong with her? Oh, yeah, she's just crazy like
No,
that.
I mean,
They just played it off.
before you retaliated, like, did the parents see this entire thing?
No, it was quick. It's just as quick as you get punched in the stomach and quick as you can smack her back on the ass. I smacked her hard as fuck. Wow. Through this, yup.
That's a weird place to smack your little cousin. But
Well, I smack her in the face. Now, wait, tell me what a smacker in, nigga. You tell me since it's a weird smack. You tell me what a smack a female then.
maybe don't smack
a girl.
Maybe don't
Nigga,
smack
I'm
'em.
smacking.
Like if it was, I think first, I guess I can't really put myself into
You could
that.
get knocked the fuck out punching a man. I'm saying don't punch nobody because she could. What if I would have punched her in the fucking face? I'm just saying you don't know how people react to punches. I'm just telling you that's my reaction. So in that split second, yeah, I could have just cold cocked it, but I'm like, well, so I'm gonna smack it. That ain't shit. Yeah, smack you in front of your ass, in front of everybody, and leg, ass, wherever that shit is. Where else am I hit her on? What, in her chest? Where is you gonna hit a female that's punched you in the stomach?
I don't know.
I think that's about the best place you can smack them.
How old was this girl?
About 13 or 14.
I would grab her and take her to
Yeah.
her parents and say, she just punched me.
Right. Yeah, probably would. Hey, hindsight is better. That sound better. I mean, in the story, but real life is real life. I ain't about to butter no shit up. That would have sounded better how to tell the story, but do you want truth or do you want the nigga that want to make shit sound good? I just told you how it went down. That's why the story, that's why you could tell the truth, because the truth, if a nigga be lying, he gonna be saying the shit like that. He gonna go, well, she smacked me and then I grabbed her and told her parents. Nah, the truth be flawed. But when you do it like you trying to put it in a perfect setting, ain't nothing perfect.
I'm not trying to put it in no perfect setting. First, the scenario sounds wild to me.
Right.
I mean, it sounds unreasonable and borderline unbelievable. But I'm not saying I don't believe it.
Exactly, but that's life. So you telling me your life don't sound unreasonable and borderline? It don't. That ain't your whole life.
I ain't never walked around. I ain't never walked around the corner and saw Dr. King and he punched me in the stomach.
I'm talking about shit that happened in your life. Do it be sounding crazy? Because I know my life is crazy. Everything. That's why you. It's like your life's so boring, you can't understand a nigga like me. That's why you be thinking I'm a character.
Maybe.
That's what it is. That's like, this should be normal shit I be telling you. Just like I told you when the bitch rubbed my leg after sexual harassment.
I could probably poll everybody watching this show and everybody who will watch this show and ask them, have you ever went over your cousin's house, a cousin that has a teenage daughter, that you ain't never teased?
Look how stupid that question is. You don't ask motherfuckers what they think. You can ask everybody in this question something that happened to them, and nobody else could do it. That don't make sense. They can tell you all isolated stories that nobody has been through. That's a dumb comprehension you do.
Because you said that with the story you just told us is the norm. That's not the norm.
I didn't.
Not.
What did I say was norm? Now you're making up shit. When did I say was norm? When did I say that?
You just a few minutes ago. Remember you said my life is so boring, and that's why I don't understand when you tell me normal stuff. Like
I'm saying my life is so crazy. When you hear it, your life's so boring. I just tell you normal shit that go on my day. Example: when the bitch rubbed my leg at the sexual harassment class. Oh, a bitch never did that. But you the same motherfucker had a woman put titties in your face. But you saying you don't believe me. So what? If somebody was telling you that story that happened to them, you wouldn't believe that.
And I would be okay if somebody didn't believe it, because I know I wouldn't be mad at them because they don't believe it. Why would I be mad at somebody? But who the fuck would believe
a lady put titties? I'm saying, why is it so out of the norm to think a woman would put their titties in your face? Shit happens all the time.
That was out of the norm. That's not a normal thing.
And me getting punched in the stomach is out of the norm.
Then why would you expect me to feel like it's normal?
No, but what I'm saying, why you think life is unpredictable? You acting like shit is predictable. Everything is like this. Everything is like, when you go to jail for beating your kids.
Just so I'm clear, we're arguing because you told me a borderline unbelievable story, and I said, no, I'm not going to say that I don't believe you. And that made you upset.
So tell me what, okay, no, you're right, I'm good. So tell me, how would you handle it if that happened to you and your daughter
I told you.
punched him in the stomach and
Oh, if it was
you know
my
what I'm saying?
daughter
If you was
who
a
had,
parent.
if it was
Yeah,
my
if I
daughter,
did that.
I would definitely have a conversation with my daughter like, why did you punch him in the stomach? Cause that's not a normal thing. No. I don't know. It was just no. Ain't no I don't know. You made a decision at some point that you gonna punch CK in the stomach. You need to explain to me what made you. I'm sorry, not because you're not my cousin. You need to explain to me why you punched Metric in the stomach when he came over. Why? What's been going on between you and Metric? Or what were you doing before you opened up the door? You gonna have to explain to me why you punched Metric in the stomach.
Right.
That's how I would
see,
handle it.
my thing, but the conclusion, and I like that, but I'm just saying, my thing is, y'all was bad parents anyway for her to be acting like this. So y'all looking at me crazy. You making me, she hit me so hard in my stomach, I reacted. I didn't even really think about what I did. See what I'm saying? So yeah, you're right. Telling you what I did, I'm not proud of that, but that reaction when you almost knocked the wind out of a grown man. But I'm saying, this type of shit, that could have turned bad. And all it would have took is for them to get mad. That happened in front of both of her parents. Her stepdaddy and her mother.
Were you at the door when she punched you in the stomach?
Yeah, I'm at the door. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this bitch? I'm ready to cuss them motherfuckers out.
So you ring the doorbell.
I rang the doorbell.
She opened up the door. She said, "Hey, cousin CK."
It was hey man. I was like, I don't know if she was trying to show me how hard she punched or what. But hey, she ain't never do that shit no more. But I'm just saying, as far as when people say you shouldn't discipline kids, it don't matter if you should or not. Motherfucker, they gonna get disciplined because some people just gonna smack you out of instinct. Your mama gonna pick up some shit off of instinct. Some mamas pick up shoe and throw that shoe at you out of instinct. And you know this. Right?
Okay. I don't.
Don't they do that?
I don't know.
So you don't know parents that beat their kids on instinct. If you say something real quick, they slapping your ass so quick. You never dealt with that.
Well, I guess, but it's
yeah, you can't say that. Mm-hmm.
I guess, yes, I've experienced that.
Yeah, you can't be like, Mama, like, remember when you wanted that cereal in the grocery store? All of us got smacked in the mouth for wanting that one cereal.
I never got smacked in the mouth for one cereal. Never got smacked in the mouth for one cereal.
Well, I did, and I still love my mama. What I'm gonna say? That's my mama. She beat on me in the grocery store. I shouldn't have been crying. I shouldn't have been pouting. I was the one acting like a bitch. So she had this nigga pop me up. You want to act like a bitch, nigga? I'll give you a reason to cry. That's what the whippings is for. You up here crying in the store, and she told you can't get the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Mama, I want it. Bah. Oh, you trying to embarrass me in front of the store. That's why kids get their ass whooped, man. Do you understand?
Well, yeah, that seems extreme. That feels extreme. I understand that it happens. I understand that it happens. I think that's extreme.
And I think you need to understand that we live in an extreme country. Everything is extreme. You are a black person, so everything is going to be to the fullest extreme. You're not just a regular American. You're a black American, Livingston. Your thoughts?
I agree. I'm a black American.
And you know, as a black American, you must work harder than other Caucasians Americans because you're not going to get the same benefit and same privilege as a Caucasian. You know this. So you have to instill harder discipline in your sons and daughters in America. And that doesn't necessarily mean putting your foot in their ass. Because like you said, some of them need a foot in their ass, some of them don't. She had a sister. The other sister never punched me in the stomach. But this one, she made me act off instinct. I don't hit kids, but I slapped the shit out of her that day without hesitation. You don't put your motherfucking hands on me because I don't know how I react. And that's what this therapy shit don't help me, because every time I'm in a situation, Livingston, you can't go to therapy tactics when you in the heat of a moment. That's what they don't understand.
Of course
Therapy
you
only
can.
works when you like this.
That's the reason for therapy. Pay attention.
Yes, sir.
Adopt those practices so that in the heat of the moment, they become second nature. Instead of your nature, they become your nature. That's the reason for it. You
What the fuck
practice
you
them.
mean? So you say I need to get people to like pick on me and practice on being picked on? What do you mean by that?
No, I mean, you need to, like, for example, when somebody say, I'm not saying I don't believe you, instead of, flipping out, you practice some of them
Right.
therapy tactics. Like, okay, I'm a little triggered. What am I supposed to do in terms of therapy? How am I supposed to deal with my emotions? I feel offended for not being believed, and so now I feel like I need to lash out. But it's not really necessary. Whatever tactic, I don't know if they told you to count to 10. I don't know if they told you, whatever. You do whatever it is that you're supposed to do. Then, okay, let me calm down. All right, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, then let's talk about this. And so that when the big things happen, that's what you go to instead of just flip it out and smacking kids.
Oh, you saying so you saying in the moment you gotta like that's quick-witted though. You have to have quick-witted to do that. That's a quick-witted person, like a quarterback or like a cornerback. If you're not quick-witted, therapy is useless. Therapy is for quick-witted people that can think on their toes.
No.
For a person that's a slow learner, like, talk to me.
No. It's for people who don't mind. You can do it watching TV. You know what I'm saying? Something happens triggering on TV. You do it. Or even just practice. Like, this is going to sound crazy, but I know a number of radio people who practice talking on the radio in the shower. You practicing what you're going to say, how you're going to respond. If this happens, this terrible scenario happens, what am I going to do? Hopefully it never happens, but you practice mentally, you practice how to respond to scenarios. And, you know what I'm saying, just you internalize that. So then once you come up on a scenario, you've been practicing how to deal with crazy scenarios or triggering scenarios. You've been practicing it. So when it happens, boom, you just go to what you've been practicing.
So you're saying use my experiences and practice. So if that happened, like it seems like that already happened to me, I should know how to respond better next time from getting punched in the stomach.
Yes, that and just create scenarios. Like what's a bad scenario that you would respond negatively? Just make one up.
Like, okay, I get off work and my wife got another dude in the house.
All right. And so there you go. So right now you can practice how you would deal with that situation. Practice it, like mentally put yourself in that space. And how would I deal with this? And you mad now. No, I can't do that. I need to count 10, 9, 8, 7. I don't know what strategies they've given you, but I'm count backwards from 10. And I walk in the house and there he is. Now what am I going to do? And you practice those scenarios. And then hopefully if you encounter a scenario, hopefully not that bad, you encounter a scenario, now you've been practicing. You've been dealing with, scenarios in your head the whole time. Now, that's not to say you're 100%, that's the way you're going to deal with it, because it is one of those things where, stuff happens and you just react. But practice those strategies. Yes.
Yeah, because but you're making groundbreaking territory right now, because I'm thinking that the way I just feel like I was trained to roll over, like either you're with me or you're against me. F you. F everything about if you're not with me, because I just feel that I'm such a nice guy that people that hate me are demons.
Well, then there you go.
So
that's one way to deal with it. You walk in, you see your wife with another man. You know what? Y'all demons. I'm leaving. That's a way to deal with it. Boom. Now you just came up with a scenario. You walked in, you was furious, whatever. But the decision that you made is, you know what? I'm gonna walk out. And instead of doing something violent and something that I'll regret, I'm just leaving. And then I'll deal with the rest of it from there.
Man, that's respect. That's respect, man. Thank you, man. So bottom line, you said some kids need discipline, some kids don't need physical discipline. All kids need discipline, but as far as physical, you saying that's certain type of children need that.
Yes, I agree. Yes, that's what I believe.
Yep. Hey, man, thank you for having me on the line, man. I appreciate your therapy session, man. I'll let you. I'm gonna listen to your platform on the internet, sir.
All right.
Facebook. I listen on Facebook and YouTube. Hit the like and all that. Hit the like, subscribe. You know how they do it.
Yes.
All right. Sir. Thank you, brother.
23.
All right. 20. All right.
That's CK. Oh, yeah. There's ways to handle stuff. It's ways to handle stuff. Again, I'm not saying I don't believe it. It just sounds. I don't know what I would do if I just walked to the door and a 13-year-old socked me in the stomach as hard as she could. I don't think I would smack him on the ass, though. I don't think that. All right, y'all, I do. I had to get out of here. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. All hearts and minds are clear. Oh, I haven't done this in a while. Okay, 6:45. I'm staying till 6:45. If you got any questions, I will answer any question that you have. Well, some questions I won't answer, but there's very few questions that I won't answer. If you got a question for me, I don't know why I hit my hand that hard. If you have a question for me, I will try to answer it. In the next 12 minutes. Questions about my views on things, questions about, things that you've heard about me, or questions about situations. If you have a question for me, and I'm staying here till 6:45, unless, of course, in the next few minutes, I don't get any questions, and then I'm out. B-Rab.
Emanuel Livingston, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. I was calling to check you out on your last night, man. You know what I'm saying?
It's not necessarily my last night. We'll see what happens.
You're right. It's not your last night. Let me rephrase that. Before you start a new schedule.
Okay.
Before you start a new schedule.
Yes.
That's what's up. I'm gonna chime in on the whooping thing or whatever. And I do have a question. Do you think that whoopings are effective to people to stay out of trouble? Do you think that's like the only method?
No, not the only method. It depends on most of me staying out of trouble was because I did not want to get a whooping. This is me growing up. I didn't want to I had gotten whoopings, and I did not want another whooping, so I tried my best to not do anything wrong that would get me a whooping. That was it. That was the reason why, when, I'm not going to say no names, but when they would go down to Calvin's and steal, I wouldn't go. Because I knew if I ever got caught, mama would tear me up. I wasn't going down there. I didn't necessarily say, I'm not going to go steal because stealing is wrong. No, the first thought that came to my mind was, if I get caught, mama will tear me up. No, I'm not going down there with y'all. So it didn't teach me violence. It taught me, you better make better decisions. So for me, those early whoopings kept me out of a lot of trouble. Again, I had a daughter who I would just tell her stuff and she would listen. I had talks with her and she would listen. I had a son who I had to threaten. You got to learn your kid and know how to deal with your kid and what they respond to. But I think, as always, I think first, and this is just first thing you think, the first thing you should try, I guess I should say, is just calmly talking to your child and explaining to them, you know, what you expect of them and setting those expectations for the rest of their life. That's first. But if that don't work, then you got to try something different.
If you was to do a survey on guys that's in the prison, that's in the United States of America, not just around the world, how many of them guys that's in prison, and let's just say for violent crimes, let's just say for murder or rape, how many of the guys you think that's in prison for those two specific crimes in general, murder or rape, got whoopings?
If I had to guess, 50%.
50%.
Yeah, and the reason I say 50%, because maybe for some people, getting whoopings might be really, set them on a bad path. At the same time, I believe there's a segment of the society who needed whoopings and didn't get them. And so that set them on the wrong path. So if I had to guess, I'd say 50-50.
It was a father, I don't know what city this in, but his daughter was hanging around some guys, and he just rolled up and just started whooping her ass. Like, he just rolled up and just started whooping her ass. Like, I don't know what was the scenario around it. I don't know if he liked the young guys or whatever. But, yeah, it depends on the person. And, honestly, whoopings, it has to depend on the family structure as well. Because you could whoop your kid, but if your family structure is still kind of whack, you still got cousins that still is off the rail, your other siblings are still off the rail, then sometimes that'll curtail a whooping, and you still gonna be out here and do what you do with it regardless. So
that's possible. I do think, depends on, I think there are a lot of factors in raising a child. And I do think influences are one of those factors. How great a factor? I don't know. I think that depends on the child. I hung around a lot of bad kids. It didn't turn me bad. I hung around a lot of smart kids. It didn't make me smart. It all depends on the child and what influences they gravitate towards and how influenced they are by people. And I think that's something also that you have to teach children, is to not be a follower, to think for themselves and all of that stuff. I think you have to teach that stuff as well as, discipline and family structure and all of that. I think all of that plays a part.
yeah, that's so true. Yeah, well, that's what's up, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man. I know you said you was gonna stick around at 6:45, man, and have a great weekend, man. Congratulations again, man. Have a great Monday, man. And I will talk to you again when I talk to you, my brother.
All right, B-Rab, have a good one. All right, that was B-Rab. Hold on. I said I would answer questions. Hold on. Let's see. Thank you, Romilla. Romilla says, I appreciate your views on things, Emanuel. I appreciate you appreciating it. Brent.
Hey, now, is this a Baptist 645 deadline, a Church of God in Christ 645 deadline, or is this like a Catholic?
This is
645.
Y'all better hurry up and get them questions in deadline.
Okay, you remember the last episode of the Arsenio Hall show where Queen Latifah hooked it up and had all the rappers of the day, everything, KRS-One, Mad Lion, Fushnikins, and everyone on the show?
Vaguely.
Well, I'm thinking if I'd have had more time to prepare, I would have gotten Lil Tevin Campbell together, Raphael Sadiq, Brian McKnight, and they could have sang the You Should Know theme song to you. So
This is not.
Oh,
This is
man.
not the last show. I don't know why y'all keep saying that. This is not the last show.
Ooh, hey, we gonna treat it like the last show and just throw you a big celebration. Huh? But yeah, but if you don't make it on next week and everything, happy Thanksgiving. I know the Livingston household will have good debate, and the Livingstons, them jokers gonna be throwing food and slapping grandma.
I hate those Livingstons, bro. I hate the Livingstons.
Damn them. All right, hey, you take it easy.
All right, Brent, you do the same.
Bye.
All right, that was Brent. Hold on, I'm looking for questions. What's a good series to watch? What's a good series to watch? I don't really know. So you tell me. I don't really know what a good series is to watch. If you haven't watched Reasonable Doubt, that's decent. It's decent. That's a good series to watch. Hold on, any other questions? Any other questions further back? No. All kids are different and parents know the difference. Or at least they very well should try to learn. So how as a society we ensure children aren't being abused? Just trust parents? You kind of have to, trust and look for signs of abuse. Trust and look for signs of abuse. Yes. I guarantee that he told her to be in the situation. Oh, you're talking about the father who just came up whooping his dog. Yeah, he probably, you be out there with them grown men out there. You 13, you ain't got no business out in the street with 5 grown men standing around you holding court. You better keep your behind out from around all those grown men. And he done told her more than once. And then he saw it, and he came up and he was whooping that tail. That's my guess, probably, with that situation. Chelsea says, why did you ask us if we wanted whoopings when we were kids? Because I feel like it was psychological warfare. It was. It was psychological warfare. To let y'all know that was always an option. Don't think Uncle Man, or really just plain old man, wouldn't tear that behind up. I heard a coworker put her breast in your face. Is that true? Yes, it's true. It's true. I've told that story I don't know how many times. I worked at a meatpacking plant, and this attractive young lesbian started working there, and for whatever reason, she took a liking to me. She invited me to engage in sexual relations with her and her partner, who was another attractive young lesbian. She was the man of the two, and so she invited me, and I told her no. And she would tease me and flirt with me all the time. I was married at the time. She would tease me and flirt with me all the time. She was just a nice young lady, and she was an attractive young lady. And one day we were in the break room, and she was standing up, and then I was sitting down, and she came over and she put her shirt over my head, and I turned, and she didn't have on a bra or anything like that, and so her small yet ample breasts were in my face, and I got her shirt out from around my head, and everybody was laughing, and that's the whole story. She kept inviting me until she got fired. She didn't get fired for inviting me, and she didn't get fired for the shirt thing. She might not have even got fired. She might have quit, but that's the whole story. That's the entire story. Thank you for acknowledging. I love you and your brother. All right. Kim turned me on to this. Oh, all right. All right. Alethea, I think you're talking about Reasonable Doubt. This season was trash. It kind of it was. It's not the best show, but I can't think of no show out right now where I'm like, this is a must watch. That's on right now. Like, if you haven't watched Billions, I thought Billions was good the majority of the way. Succession, I thought Succession was a really good show. Trying to think of some really good black shows, because there have been really good black shows, but just off the top of my head, I can't think of any. Nothing Tyler Perry. If you want to watch good TV, stay away from Tyler Perry. Do you think that Brent took his supposedly last call with you in a pair of wrestling trunks? No, and it's not hopefully his last call. Who was the bad and good kid in the Livingston family? I think I was the good kid. I don't know that we had a bad kid. I don't think we had a bad kid. I don't think we did. Alethea.
Hey, Eli. Hey, Eli.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Did Twin set this up with the T-shirt thing?
Huh?
Did Twin set that up? Remember he said he was going to get the stuff to do the sneak move on you?
No. This was back. This had to be back 25 years ago, 25, 26 years ago.
That was a bit much. How'd you get out the shirt?
You just take a shirt off of your head. It wasn't that big of a deal.
You got trapped in the closet?
It wasn't that big of a deal.
Oh, that's huge. Because you was married at the time, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that was a big deal.
No.
What if you would have just slapped her on the breast? Do you think she would have got upset?
I think she might have enjoyed that. She was really serious about inviting me to participate with her and her girl. She was serious about that.
Oh, my goodness. So, Reasonable Doubt. I did like the previous seasons. This one was kind of boring, but
yeah, it wasn't great. That the white guy who played in those Power shows or whatever, I never watched Power.
Tommy,
but,
yeah.
But,
I don't know.
Mrs. Livingston watched it, and so I would see it periodically. And he's a terrible actor.
I think he had a bad role. I saying that too. Like, what is he here for? At the end, it was like, oh, he's about to set her up, but he's definitely better in Power. I do like his role in Power better, like more of an aggressor. I didn't like that they had him, like, married to a black woman, divorcing a black woman, and then getting with her friend to mess with a black woman that's about to be divorced from her husband. It was just too much. Well, I didn't like this. I didn't like this.
I never understood his character, and I couldn't tell, like, is his character, like, is he just a really bad actor? Because he played the role like somebody fake playing the role, if that make any sense. Like, I was like, he sound like he's... I can't even really put it into words. It was like, this is a white guy trying to sound white and trying to, like, is his whole thing like he's being fake to her the whole time? Or is some of this, like, is he supposed to be a sincere character? Because no part of him, it always seemed like he was playing a guy being fake. It just...
Yeah.
It was just so bad and confusing.
I don't know. I agree with you. I didn't like it this season. It was kind of boring. Normally when I first got hooked on it, it had a couple things going on at one time, Of course, it had the cheating, the scandal, things like that. But this season, it seemed to be more focused on, did the guy kill the white girl? The whole time. It was kind of weird for me. But normally it's really good.
Yeah. But that's the only show that I could just think of that came to my mind real quick.
Oh, that they can watch.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck with your job adventure this week.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. Make sure you get your clothes out for the week on Sunday.
Say that again.
Make sure you take your clothes out for the week on Sunday. Ain't that what the church kids do?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But I do have to go buy some clothes so they'll be nice and fresh and tidy and, all of that good stuff. I try to remember to take all the tags off of everything because I ain't got no business casual stuff.
Oh, my gosh. I'm excited for you. Make sure you check back in with us. Don't be a stranger.
I'm not going nowhere. I will be here periodically.
Well, how about you just come on in the morning? You ain't got to be to work till the afternoon.
I will be here periodically. I don't know what my days are going to look like yet, so I'm not committing to anything yet. But I will be
So
here.
that's fake. That's called fake. That's fake. That's called fake. We should be in that calendar. Like, you should not be still figuring this out. You still had a couple days since we first talked about it with this announcement. It's fake.
Yes.
That's all right.
Hey.
Let Twin call before you leave tonight so he can tell you be pump faking. Let him cuss you out one good time.
He already called.
Oh, darn. I just got off of work, sorry. I didn't even hear it.
Yeah, he told us
take care of yourself.
a whole story. He defined racism for us.
Oh, I'll play it back. All
right.
Well, have a good evening. Enjoy your weekend, your Thanksgiving, all that.
You do the same.
I think we won't hear from you until after the new year. I mean, that's what my intuition is saying.
Your intuition might be a little out of whack.
Well, prove me wrong.
All right.
I would love for you to prove me wrong.
All right.
All right. See ya.
All right. All right. That's Alethea. I'm trying to go through here. Yeah, she was trying to get me in a threesome, which I would have, if I wasn't a married dude, I'd have definitely did it because they were both very attractive. They were both very attractive. I would have did it. I'd have did it in a heartbeat. But, I've told that stuff. How do y'all think people know the story? I've told that story. Let me see. Do you like the Monster series? I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. What's the name of this breast meat company? Who is Eli? When I sing I've sang in various bands, local bands, and when I perform on stage, I go by Eli. Eli was a name given to me as a performer, because you on stage and hey Emanuel, you can't necessarily stick Emanuel into a song, but Eli. You know what I'm saying? 2 quick syllables, boom, you can stick that into a song. Eli comes from E, being my first initial of my first name. Li, being the first 2 letters of my last name. And I'm assuming that's how they put that together. And so they started calling me Eli. And so I just rolled with it. So Eli is me on stage, performing, singing. Did anyone approach you and ask you if you wanted to file a report? No. Wasn't nobody in management or nothing in the break room. No. Somebody else wanted to know who was Eli. No, I didn't tell my wife. That would have been, it wasn't a good marriage anyway, and that would have been a whole unnecessary ordeal. And I'm not gonna say that. I was about to say, in all reality, I should have just did it. But, I be trying to be honorable, even when things ain't good. I be trying to be honorable. Even when, I know this ain't gonna work, I still be trying to be honorable. And so that's what I was doing, was trying to be honorable. Let me see. Tria said the show was fine without adding the white man. It was. And again, I still don't understand his role. Like, was it just really bad acting? Or, was he on her team? Was he supposed to? It was just super bad. It was so bad. Let's see. He grew up in a black neighborhood. He ran with ghosts. That was his right-hand man. Okay. So was the game at Paul Brown rained out? I don't know nothing about that. We don't believe the lesbians were attractive. Okay. She only wanted your sperm. They need a man to produce. She could have got it. I'm just telling you, she could have got it. Both of them, either one of them could have got it. They could have split it. You know what I'm saying? But I had to do the honorable thing. Let me see. I'm looking to see if there's any more questions. Series on Netflix based on serial killers. No, I haven't seen that. Ed says, I thought your name was Dave Stinger. Dave Stinger is a friend of mine who used to work at the radio station. People said we looked alike, and some people said we sounded alike. He was a friend of mine that used to work at the radio station. So you was going to take the strap. I don't even know what that means. Scott said, I kind of remember your situation. She was a cute, but she was only there for a little. If she was there for like a whole month, I would be shocked. Scott worked at the meatpacking plant with me. And he says he kind of remembered that situation. And it wasn't that big of a deal. Were the twins identical or fraternal? I don't know. I was under a shirt and I wasn't really paying attention, but I remember them. Pat Rogers say, now you are ignoring me. I didn't see a question from you. Oh, he's a friend. Did he ever come to your house and meet your wife and family? Yes. Yes, as a matter of fact, he did. All right, y'all. So those are all the questions so far. Look, I appreciate y'all hanging with me. This is not the last show. This ain't even close to the last show. I'll let y'all know, hopefully on Monday, I'll have some idea of what things are going to look like. So just keep your eyes peeled. Not Monday morning. Keep your eyes peeled, and I'll let y'all know. And yeah, we gonna keep doing this. I enjoy it. Like I say, I enjoy y'all. And so yeah, it's all good. Seriously, they probably won't happen at your new job. Nah, that better not happen at my new job. I'm happy now. I'm in a good marriage now. So yeah, if that happened at the new job, that would be a problem. But yeah, everybody enjoy your weekend. Hopefully I will see y'all sometime next week. And yeah, enjoy the weekend. As always, on my way out, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to, as this weekend goes along, reach out to somebody that you care about. Maybe somebody you haven't talked to in a while. And be the reason that that person, number one, knows that they are loved. And be the reason that they smile. Until next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.